My name is Griselda Martinez. I am the Interim Director for the Economic Development Department for the local government, City of Las Cruces. And I am very glad to see you all here. I am very glad that you're taking advantage of opportunities such as this and that you're in the loop and that you'll continue to find out about opportunities where your business can learn on opportunities for expansion, loans, talent, etc. So I want to make sure that you know who else is part of the Economic Development Department because we are all resources for you. So Economic Development Department team, can you please stand up? Awesome. So please make sure that you remember their faces. I'm going to go quickly so they can introduce themselves and their position.
Hi, I'm Paul Dahlgren, Economic Development Coordinator with the Economic Development Department. Primarily, I work downtown, also handle things like permitting for the plaza. So if you have any questions, particularly related to downtown, just let me know.
Sorry, I was eating. Francisco Payares, City Economist, housed in the Economic Development Department. And if you have questions with regards to data or information or things of that nature, I'm your resource.
Hello, my name is Donald Bustos, City of Las Cruces, work in economic development. I am the business concierge. And if you need anything, any navigation in the city, give me a call. I have a lot of business cards.
Hello, I'm Mandy Guss, and I am the Business Development Administrator. I oversee the Business Development Department, which includes downtown, and Cruz is one of my team members, and he's the one who put on the event today, so thank you to him.
Thank you. I'm Cruz Ramos, Economic Development Specialist in business development. Any help you need with respect to creating, or actually for the most part, the attendees here are owners or general operators of businesses. It's such a pleasure to see all of you here. I'm so thrilled about we're all thrilled about the turnout. So thank you so much.
And as Mandy said, Cruz was the force behind putting this event together. So thank you, Cruz. We appreciate your efforts, and hopefully this is something that we can continue to partner with community entities here. So the rest of the program, we have an amazing moderator, and she is the CEO and president of the Greater Chamber for Las Cruces. Her name is Debbi Moore. Most of you know her, but if you haven't, please connect with her after this event. And with that, please help me introduce Debbi Moore.
Thank you very much. Who is it?
I've done my sentence, but committed no crime.
What's the song? What? We are the champions. Right. Isn't that amazing? You are the champions. I love this part. Sing along. You are the champions of our community. You who are involved in small business from the very beginning of the time you started to some of you are 16. I think, Buffy, you were telling me your business is 23 years old, and that you are the champions of my heart. You are the reason I've been in this industry for 30 years. Your passion and your vision is what makes a community a community. Where's my baby business? Right here, one of my baby businesses. You're beginning a fantastic journey. One of passion, of vision, of involvement in your community. And that's you. Small business is the true heartbeat of who we are as a community. So my topic today is moving forward, moving your business forward. So sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward. So that's a really weird question, the real statement, isn't it? Why would I ever want to go backwards? Perspective, that's right. To look and see, did I do this okay? Did I take analysis of it? Is it okay? Is my vision still intact? Is my passion still intact? am I still moving forward? Sometimes you just stop and analyze. So I have a little bag up here. My bag, it's a small bag. Your bag could be small, and this is a business bag. So on the program, there is a link that I need you to pull out your cell phone. So don't take any calls and don't play any more of Queen. But do this link because I have a question, and Paul's going to help me with the answers. What would be in your business bag? What is in? Give me 5 things. If you can only think of one, we're going to analyze what would be in your business bag. So I just gave you 2, vision and passion. Your bag cannot work unless you have those 2 things in your bag. Anybody else? Can you go, anybody download it? Time. Time to do it. Time to do it. Yes, sir? Belief. I opted between You're the Champions and the other Believe song. What did they sing? What does Queen sing? Don't stop what? Believing. Belief? That's Journey. Journey. Sorry, you're right. I'm not as old as you, though. You're right. Touche. Believing in yourself, right? We're going to hear from a panel in a little bit about how to believe in your employees and people you're leading in your group. Anybody else?
Your sphere of influence and your network.
Your sphere of influence, your network. Self-awareness. How about self-confidence, too?
I would say mentors, although that goes.
Mentors? Anybody else?
Your technology.
Technology, staying up. So, to me, your business bag also needs to have what I call a kitchen cabinet. And even though I've never owned my own business, I have helped businesses for 30 years in my chamber career. And one of the key points that I had copied from a business person in Albuquerque was having key people, those mentors, those leaders, those fellow business people that can help you to make decisions. Now, my personal kitchen cabinet has involved former chairs, personal friends, because you're going to meet one of them. Rick Jackson is on my kitchen cabinet here. Very seldom do I do anything at the chamber that I don't give Rick a call. And he will say, that's a stupid idea or that's a good idea. That is what type of people you need on your kitchen cabinet. Reach out to them no matter what stage you're in your business. I've always believed, too, one thing that you need the basics, realtor to find you a good location, an attorney to help you navigate those crazy either bills of sale, the selling of a purchase of a building, and or renting. And then the last person is an accountant, a bookkeeper. One of you mentioned bookkeeping a while ago. No matter where you are in your stage of your business, to move forward, you have to keep this bag active. Don't just seal it up, just like a business plan. How many of you have a business plan? How many of you have a vision plan? Okay, those 2 should be on your bookcase. Pull it out, make sure it correlates with your bag. Make sure those 2 things are working. How many of you are over 10 years old? The business? Several. We've got a good balance here. So the cycle of a business is about 7 to 10 years old. At 7 to 10 years old, you need to reevaluate your business plan, and I always like a vision plan. I personally have always told businesses, just for the fun of it, from the time they start till about 5 years, 10 years down the road, get a piece of paper and write, where do I want to be in the next 5 years or 10 years? When that anniversary comes, pull that out. See if you've met that goal. And it can be the biggest goal of all. I mean, it could be, I'm going to be a multimillionaire. I'm going to own my own private plane. But think outside those boxes. Reinvent the box. Use a circle if you have to. But think, because that vision that's way outside your bag is going to be what keeps you going on days when you're struggling to keep the electricity on. Knowing it's in that drawer of yours. Knowing that is why you got in business. Knowing that is how you're going to get forward is the fact you're following your vision and your dream. That is key to moving your business forward. How many of you just get to the point and say, I'm not doing this anymore? I'm out. I'm going to sell the business? Yes, that's okay. One of the things I learned from one of my peers in the chamber business is I have to be prepared to educate a business on what they don't know. Help them through those first 3 years that are key and crucial because we want them to get to that 5-year mark, if not 7. We want them to expand and grow. But at the end of the day, they need to prepare, if they so desired, to either go with succession planning or to sell the business. So those are my 4 steps of walking. That's in my business bag from a chamber's perspective. Yes, it's okay to say, I'm starting a business because I want to sell it someday. That's okay. Because chances are, in the spirit of entrepreneurialism, you will start another one. I know a lot of people that start and sell. That's okay. There are others are family-owned business. Brings a whole nother dynamic. Anybody from a family-owned business in the audience? Family-owned businesses is a whole dynamic. So every family has them. Good members, not so good members, challenging family members, fun members, not so fun members. If you bring that dynamic, think about it, into the business, wow. I had the privilege of talking to a family-owned business in Albuquerque. He had a dilemma. He had 3 children. Yeah, didn't want to leave the business with any of the 3. He had a dilemma. Ultimately, he left it with the oldest son, but his youngest, who happened to be a daughter, felt sure she would get it because she was the only girl in the family. So he had to have the hard conversation with her. So family dynamics bring in a whole new set. But I will tell you, Abel, I'm going to pick on you for just a second for Nabadamos. I've watched Abel manage his employee base. We were talking about employee management just a little bit. Is that they become a family, right? So your employees, I spend a lot of time with my 3 employees. They are like family to me. Fortunately, I don't have to make the decision of my successor someday when I retire. The board will do that, but it's my job to help them train and get people who could do that position. So sometimes it's not blood family, but it's employee family. So as long as you've got your bag active, no matter what stage you're in your business, whether it's nonprofit or profit, when you rely on these things, your bag of tricks, so to speak, how do you utilize them? So let's just say, theoretically, you're at the wit's end of your business. 10 years or longer. You look in your bag, guess what? What's happened? It's empty. So how do you suppose that you go about getting this full again? Can you do it on your own? So who do you reach out to? Your mentors? People that work for you. Good. That's a good answer. Those that have been on the journey with you. I know some of your names, so I can start calling you out. So how do you rejuvenate, re-energize when you're drained? How do you do it personally?
You could restructure it.
Restructure.
Change your plan.
So how do you restructure your personal life?
Well, it has to fit the business.
Has to fit the business. Yes, sir? Personal development. You call that kitchen cabinet and say, I'm done. I'm done. How do we, but I want to keep the business. I want to move forward. I don't want to quit my business. Where does that come from? Let me tell you, I've met enough entrepreneurs in my career path to know that each of you has this burning thing inside of you. This thing that just says, you can do it. Don't stop believing. You're the champion. Those positive things that we talk about, leadership, that is a deep dwelled inside every entrepreneur that I've ever met. Because there's that passion to make a difference, to sell that widget, to sell that service, to make a difference. And you know what? In that moment, you dig way back down in your heart and you find that very purpose of why you want to make a difference. And let me tell you, as a small business, it's not about the widget. It's not about the service. It's not even about your employees. You know what it is? It's your internal desire to make a difference in your community. Because you are the ones who donate, who sponsor the soccer teams. You are the ones who go out and donate to those most vulnerable. Feed the poor. Go to a community of hope and help out. That translates your entrepreneurism into your vision, your passion, and your leadership. That is why you are a small business owner. So moving forward can be all kinds of things, but you need to analyze. I always love to talk to Francisco about his data. Get your data in place. Look at how you're impacting. Do you have enough customers? Of course, I think you need to join the Chamber of Commerce, invest in us, we can help you. Sidebar. More than anything, though, it's that kitchen cabinet, it's your mentors, it's seeing what is the perception out there. Sometimes you need to do, if you are in a product where you're selling a product, a retail establishment where people are coming in, even if you don't invest in the chamber, call me. I'll be a secret shopper for you. Sometimes you need to know what is that first line when they come in your business. That's part of moving forward. Is that director of customer service? I call them director of first impressions. If you come into the Chamber of Commerce and we live in the 150-year-old Armijo house. Right now I don't have a reception, but I guarantee within 2 minutes somebody from my staff is going to be either down the stairs or out of their office to say, hello, how can we help you? Thank you for choosing the Greater Las Cruces Chamber of Commerce. How can we help you today? How's your day doing? We're here to help you. That first impression is everything. In selling of a widget, in marketing a service, those type of things, the analyzation, stepping back and looking at it. The key to anything, though, I can't reiterate this enough, passion and leadership. If you got a notepad, you can write this down. This is our theme for our leadership program this year. The leadership of your passion is the passion of your leadership fueled with energy. If you don't have energy, you can't turn that passion and your vision into passion. Those are hand in hand, and you can't lead your team. Neither can you lead your business. The leadership of your passion is the passion of your leadership fueled by what? Energy. And sometimes you get to the point where, oh my goodness, I am so tired. I can't do this anymore. Refuel. What happens to your car? Anybody ever run out of gas? No? What happens? You got to go to the where? Get some gas? Is that car going to start? I had a situation last week where my car wouldn't start, and it was the battery. It's so frustrating. Had to get it charged, had to get a new battery. What? A new battery? Debbie, I don't want to change. Guess what? Your market's changing. You got to stay on top. You got to get into those books. You got to get into the news. You got to figure out, where is my industry today? What is going on in my world? Where's my mobile pet cemetery, and pet setting are all here. Rio Rancho, was there for 14 years. We did a study about 2004. We were losing a lot of dollars down the hill, the Albuquerque, gross receipts tax. $14 million in the west side of Albuquerque and Rio Rancho was spent on pets. Fast forward to 2014, which is 10 years later, we did another study. There was 8 to 10 successful pet-related businesses in that area. And that didn't include the homesteaders that take pets and go into the homes. It didn't include a lot of the things that was pet-related, pet stores and things like that. 8 to 10 of them, very successful. I called a few of them up. Why did you do this? Because I heard the statistics, and I wanted to make a difference in our community because pets are important. Guess what? About 5 of that 8 to 10, when I talked to, were over their projections by 300 to 400%. So the important thing of having in your bag of either moving forward or the beginning is to make sure you know your market. You know where you're at, you know what's going on, and it's okay to just hit pause. Pause to analyze, check with those mentors, check with your business kitchen cabinet, and see. So in conclusion, before we go to our panel, I want to tell you, theoretically, have a business bag. But the leadership of your passion is the passion of your leadership, fueled by energy. And with those things in mind, you are going to make a difference in our community because you are my champion. So with that, we're going to do a panel. Any other questions before I turn these 3 loose? Have I got you thinking? I see those wheels going. How many nonprofits? We got some nonprofits here. Nonprofits, always remember, it needs to be ran like a business. You need the same bag. So with that, are y'all ready? Ready or not? Here we come. Tracy, let's start with you. Why don't y'all introduce yourself while I am coming up the stage?
Good afternoon. Oh, that worked. Good afternoon. Thank y'all for being here. It's really great to see you, and it's great to be a part of this event. Thanks to the city for hosting this. You know, we at the Bridge of Southern New Mexico have always been a business-led initiative focused on educational outcomes. And if you don't know what the Bridge is and does, it's the top leadership in our county. Business, education, economic development, and government, all talking about 2 things directly relevant to you: high school and college completion, skilled and ready workforce. So that's what the Bridge does full-time as a nonprofit organization. And so I'm with the Bridge of Southern New Mexico. I have my board vice chair sitting next to me here, and Bill Studer represents the city on our board. So we are actively, as a community, really having meaningful conversations. So when we start to talk about employee engagement, you're lucky to be in a community that is strategically talking about this, not just unique in New Mexico, frankly unique in the country with what the leadership of our community is doing right now.
Well, thank you. She's been around a while. I'm Rick Jackson, owner and founder of American Document Services. Been in business about 19 years. We are a for-profit, which makes it so much easier when it comes time to make payroll and things of that nature. But anyway, we are a customer service-based business. We archive business records for doctors, lawyers, hospitals, personal records as well, and protect your customers or your identity through secure means of our facility is secure, and our software that we use built the business on customer service and integrity by doing what I promised my customers I would do. Being in business in Las Cruces has been exciting, to say the least. Great support whenever it comes time for expansion. this town is full of other businesses that's willing to help you, either financially or through knowledge and mentors, which is, I've heard the lady mention using mentors. SBDC, if it had not been for them, I don't know if I'd be in business today. They provide a great service, and I used them before I ever opened my doors. So anyway, there's a lot of aspects involved in starting and running a business. It's not easy. You have to believe, and you have to know when, where, and how to either open the door or shut the door. They're not all successful.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Marianne Quesada. I am a business advisor at the Small Business Development Center at the Doña Ana Community College. And I want to let you know we are a resource to small business owners. And so what we provide is confidential consultations with business advisors scheduled by appointment, and that's available to business owners in the community. We also offer trainings throughout the year for business owners. Those are usually low cost, sometimes no cost. And so you want to connect with this valuable resource available to you because we are funded by the Small Business Administration, which is federal government, but we are also funded by the state of New Mexico. So your taxpayer dollars is what helps our program to operate. So reach out to us, come find out what we can help you with. We are a resource. And so my background is that I am an accountant. I graduated from NMSU with my Bachelor of Accountancy. And I worked at the Taxation and Revenue Department for 12 years. And that gave me valuable experience. And so I love this job that I'm at now because I can use that information. I don't determine taxability and I don't give you tax advice, but I can help you navigate. I know where information is. I know how I can help you. And I can give you tools, information, so that when you do have to deal with the tax office, then you have an idea of what's going on and how I can help you with some of those things. Another thing I did in my past was I took a job, when my mother became ill, I took a job at a temp agency. And that temp agency, because I was an accountant, they sent me to small businesses. And I went to a variety of small business partnerships, sole proprietors, and I got to see a lot of the ins and outs of business. And I got to see where they were making mistakes. I got to see where they were doing things right. And so that experience helped me. The reason I took that job is I needed that flexible schedule. I could turn down assignments if I needed to. And there was some assignments I really enjoyed, and there was some assignments where I saw these businesses are struggling, and I could help them. I could do some things to get them organized. And I knew of the Small Business Development Center in my time at Taxation and Revenue. There was a business advisor there, Mike Levine, at the Small Business Development Center. And so when I was doing taxpayer education, I could connect them to the Small Business Development Center. I said, hey, you need help with this. This is an organization that can help you. So I kind of like come full circle in business, small business. And also to let you know, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. And so I saw my mom could work an amazing budget. She was magic with a budget. And I learned financial literacy at home. So a lot of business owners, raise your children up in business. And so that's just to give you a little bit of my background and how I know about small business. The other thing I love is the Small Business Development Center. We are a network. There are 18 centers in the state of New Mexico, but then also throughout the United States. So I can reach out to others who have business experience that I may not know about. But what's great about that also is our center is in this community, and so we get to work with our community. We know about our community. We're not mandated to do certain things that our community wouldn't be able to do. So we get to do these things for our community and be in our community. So again, we're a great resource. Find us, reach out to us. It's available to you, small business owners, with a variety of whatever help you need. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, panelists. So we're going to cover 3 topics: employee engagement, mentoring and professional development, and succession and estate planning. And if you've got the link downloaded, is that question on there, or they can just send. If you have any questions, as we go through this journey. Instead of each one speaking individually, I'd like to kind of start a conversation. So please feel free to email or to list your questions, and Paul will let me know what they are in there. So I think the important thing is you see that the experience of who is represented up here is tremendous. And I do encourage you, one thing is to get all of these business cards before, when you leave. SBDC is a tremendous, how many of you been to SBDC? Are you a client currently of SBDC? Okay. Even if you're an existing business and you're at that point where you need some regrouping, go see them, because I'm on the statewide advisory board along with Rick, and one of the passions I have about them is they're helping not only to start a business, is they're also helping you stay in business. So that is a real important one. You know, as you grow, one of the things you're going to do is do your first hire. So Tracy and I are going to start off this by employee engagement. And so the important thing about employee engagement is the definition. So we've kind of talked about, we know kind of what the engagement is, but how do you know if you hire the right person? So Tracy, one thing you're doing with the bridge is mapping those talent pipelines to help the business people know that. How does that all work?
Why, thank you, Debbie, for that question. Okay, so how many people, I'm gonna answer your question, but let me ask this question of you guys first. How many people would tell me that personnel is your #1 expense as a business? Okay. How many people would say you have a hard time finding the right people? Okay. Wow, y'all are doing actually better than I expected, so congrats to you. How many of you are very comfortable with where you are finding talent right now? Or would you like to have more? Like, how many people would like to have more options for talent development, talent finding? Okay, so especially, and okay, last question. How many of you have businesses that are 5 or less employees? Okay, so like employees are critical, right? And they're literally the greatest asset you have. You know this, a terrible employee can cost you a lot of money. A great employee can really help you. So when we started this conversation around workforce development, which every community in the country is dealing with. You've heard the middle skills gap, the technical skills gap. You've heard that there are, plenty of people with 4-year degrees that are underemployed in college. That you hear all these things. At the end of the day, it's not college or career, it's college on the way to career, right? Everybody's got to get some level of education on their way to career, and all of that's changing. So when we started thinking about what do businesses in our community need to really thrive, and remember, I have a business-led board, people that are well qualified, that have graduated high school, that have some level of college, and college does not mean 4-year university only. It means career certifications that have value in the world of work, 2-year degrees and 4-year degrees, and higher. So what you need to run your business, and it's probably a combination of low, middle, and higher skills. So when we started to figure out what was happening about workforce development in our community, we figured out there was a lot of stuff going on, but it wasn't connected. It wasn't always connected. And people have been told, how many of you have heard this wonderful rumor, there are no jobs here? Have you heard there's no jobs here? Have you heard that? Oh, okay, good. So FYI, this morning, while I was sitting up here looking at my phone, there are 3,516 job openings in the Las Cruces metropolitan statistical area. So please leave here and tell people there are plenty of jobs here, okay? So they're all over the map. But what we were trying to do is figure out, what does that look like? Low, middle, and high skill. And I provided for you, as you think about your workforce, what we are doing, and I want to make sure that the Bridge's role in workforce development is targeting some industries that were identified by all these economic development efforts that are, they're going to pay well, they're going to grow, they're industries that we already said, that we have, that we want to have more of. And so if you look in here on page 7, you're going to see like a holistic workforce mapped out for aerospace, space, and defense, because those are kind of important industries for us. And what you see across the bottom is that's what it looks like in those industries, low, middle, and high skilled. And the jobs pay different, right? So you see ranges. But what you see above that is the educational assets we already have. We don't have to go get new stuff. We have career and technical education in high school. That is not like your father's shop class. Career and technical education is literally about, it's about 100% graduation rate for high school students. Why? Because it's hands-on learning along and pointed toward a career while you're also in school. So if you want to know why do I need to learn Algebra 2, career and technical education essentially answers that question. We have Doña Community College, one of the most undervalued resources in our community. I'm not kidding you. If you've never gone to DACC's East Mesa or Ospina campuses and taken a look at their labs, please do. Unbelievable what people in our community are doing and can have access to, what your employees can take advantage of as they themselves seek to skill up, and I'll talk to you a little bit about some help for you for that. But then, of course, we have a university. We do know all about that. But holistically, do people who live here have what they need to train themselves, to grow their skills and ability, and to have hands-on practical experience to be prepared for the world of work? Yes. We're lucky. I mean, there's a lot of rural New Mexico, but we have it all. So the better that we understand what the workforce pipeline looks like in any industry, the better we understand what the academic and educational assets we have are. And oh, by the way, don't forget Workforce Connections. My thanks to Brandy and Veronica who are here. Come talk to these two ladies up front. Raise your hand. There you go. Workforce Connections also has a critical role to play because they have dollars that are intended for people who face barriers to employment. For tuition assistance, do you need to get shoes for that job? Do you need to have an on-the-job training? Do you need an apprenticeship? So that is the second most underutilized resource in our community, simply because people don't know. So what you see on page 7 of that book is that's what a holistic workforce looks like, but if you look in the yellow row, that's your job. That's your job. How many people had a part-time summer job when you were 16-ish? How many people learned to work at, like what work really was at that part-time summer job, right? So youth employment is at an all-time low. It's getting better, but youth employment's at an all-time low. So the experiences that benefited us are not available all the time. As a state, sorry to report, we're 51st in this. But we don't have to be. And I don't know what you know about New Mexico, but it doesn't take a lot of change to make a lot of change here. You do not have to mobilize that many people to make dramatic change. So as you guys think about your workforce and building your talent pipeline, don't just be thinking about today. Back up a little bit and think about who's coming. What is your role in helping them know that, whether you go into a classroom, whether you have an internship, whether you offer an apprenticeship, whether you do co-op through NMSU, or whether you just invite them to your place. That's how we start to really do a good job of connecting people to real opportunities that you have there.
So Tracy, once you get them trained and you have the pipeline, how do you perceive, let's back up and say, okay, I'm a business that I don't have any employees. Okay. So how do I know where to go or how to hire so I can access the best qualified when I don't even know what I don't know what I'm looking for?
That's an excellent question that I would point at our Workforce Connections people for help too. So if you are starting to hire people and you generally have an idea of what you're looking for, the Workforce Connections folks for free will help you craft job descriptions. And the reason that matters is because it's going to be easier to find talent when you're using the right words. Because I don't know about y'all, but have you ever realized you're hiring this person for this job and this other company like you is hiring this person for this job and it's the exact same job but you call it two different things? It's really hard to find people. And the other thing is you don't want to get a bazillion resumes for your one job. I don't know, like I don't enjoy looking at a bunch of people who are not qualified for what I'm trying to hire for. So you can use these guys to help you with job screening. You can use these guys to help you with, with posting a job. They do it for free. They can craft it for you. You can do that. The other thing is build relationships. Build relationships with Las Cruces Public Schools Career Education Department. They have high school students who may make wonderful interns. Build a relationship with the Workforce Center at DACC. They're running all their career services out of that place. They can help you. Build a relationship with NMSU's Career Services Department, because they are the direct connect to these people in the pipeline. So you've got in school and out of school covered, all ages, in those 4 places.
So Rick, that kind of leads into your area of mentoring. So once you have employees, and you have several full-time and part-time employees at American Document Services, how do you mentor them and develop them?
That's such a good question. I'm going to let Tracy answer. No. Debbie, it's in my business. I'm really fortunate to be able to hire someone that has no experience and then help mold them or ask them where they want to go to their future, because not everyone wants to manage records or drive a shred truck or scan documents for the rest of their life. But you need certain skills to move forward. And so at American Documents, we provide them, if they wanting to get into management, we kind of teach them. I've got a pretty good history of management for the past years. But it's really just sitting down and talking to the individual and asking, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you want to be doing? Do you want to go to school part-time while you work for me? If you do, I will assist you in going to school, as long as you have ambition. And as long as I can help you here, and it will help me as well. I need a little bit in return. So I don't know if I'm the right one to ask that question, because I enjoy getting someone basically right out of school, or someone that's actually wanting to start another career in something else. But it's always important to sit down with the individual and find out what they want, where they want to go, and assist them if you can, and at least know where to send them to get the assistance that they need, or the direction, or the school. We've got a lot of people, employees, that since they've come to work for me, they've gone out to the branch, or they've taken classes at the university. And what they have gone to school in, or what they're receiving their education in, has really benefited me, because they've come back, especially in software. Our software is something, no one likes RSSQL. If you ever dealt with it, you'll cuss me for even bringing up those letters. It's not a friendly software, but it's the basics. And so when I can send someone to school and get some computer skills, it benefits me. So I don't know if I answered the question or
You did.
tap danced around it.
So you have a family-owned business.
Yes.
So you have a combination of related employees with non-related employees. How do you, obviously you want to mentor both. Is there a difference? Do you put each employee, even your family members, on their own professional development plans and mentoring? How does all that work?
Wow.
I promised him no hard questions.
Yes,
but
you
I think
did, but you've thrown a couple really good ones at me real quick. Being a family-owned business, it has its pros and cons, ups and downs. There's times when I go home at night and saying, I wish that girl had never been born. If I'd go home, just slap her mother. And then there's times that I'm so proud of what April has done. And not only do I have April, my daughter, I also have my son-in-law, April's husband. So that now it's even worse, because Robbie's the COO, and I'm the CEO, and he works for me, but he goes home with the CFO, and he goes home and cries to the CFO what the CEO has made him do all day long, and now I've got the CFO mad at the CEO.
See
because
what I
I've
told you?
mistreated the
Complex
COO.
relationships.
So, you know, being a family-owned business, it has its trials and tribulations. However, it's good for the fact that they have the same goals. The family has the same goals, and that's to be successful, and to plan and educate, and to hopefully keep something going that you can pass on from family to family, or something that you can actually put out there on the market, and someone else can take over and set your family up or your kids up financially for the rest of their lives. My goal is for American Documents to make enough money for me to retire on, and what happens after I pass away is, hey, that's their problem, not mine.
Rick, let me interrupt you for just a second. I think it's important to know you also have a child, a daughter that is out of state, but yet she's in part of the family business. So I think Rick has done really good in how to embrace the family members within the organization, even though they're not all physically in Las Cruces. And I think that's a powerful tool that you could think about, not only for family members, but also when you're trying to save cost, is to see, can you have an employee that works from home and save, you see what I'm saying? So I think that's one thing I admire about Rick, is he's proactive in not only involving his family, but also working to see how he can save money. I mean, he pays her, obviously, but I mean, she doesn't come into work. You do pay her, right?
Yeah, very little.
Should I? She doesn't volunteer.
She doesn't know what we make.
So I think that's an important thing, is that in this modern world, again, being aware of your circumstances, both for hiring and mentoring and professional development, is can you reduce your overhead and your cost by having people work from home? And does that help your bottom line? And people actually love to work in their bunny slippers. You know, that's a creative way. I actually work from home. Don't tell my board that sometimes, because that's how I get stuff done, is I can spend 2 hours at home and get more done than 8 hours in the office. So I think creatively about your employees and how you do that, and that's one thing I admire about that. The other thing I want to talk about, and salute Rick and his company, is he sends people through our Las Cruces Leadership Las Cruces program. He's always open to get his employees, once he knows they're engaged. So you get your employee engaged, then you mentor them and move them forward to professional development. Rick, do you have a process at the office that people apply for, or is it something you just kind of watch? How do you know that an employee is engaged and ready to move up, either within the organization or through your volunteer efforts?
It's all discussed during the in-process and in-processing with American Documents, and we're on what these individuals are wanting to do. We let them know that if they come in with a good positive attitude, and when they come to work, they're ready to work, but they don't quit before 5 o'clock waiting for it to turn 5 to go home, that they continue to work. You know, Debbie, a while ago when Tracy was talking about 1 employee, 2 employees, 3 employees, what's really critical is you can have 3 employees that you're paying, you know, $15 an hour, and they're just doing the minimum. I can go out and hire 1 employee and pay them $20 that will do what all 3 of those are doing. And you need to be able to tell the difference between those folks. And you need to let them go. You need to let them know up front, I will give you a job, but it's your responsibility to keep it, not mine. I have no responsibility in you keeping your job, other than providing you with the tools you need to do your job.
Write that down. That's very important.
And so that's what we do. We will tell our employees that the longer they are with us, the more they show us, and we pay incentives. You show me a way to save money, and I will give you a bonus for that. Depending on how much money I'm going to save, I will give you a portion of that. And then I let them know what we have within this organization, that through time and hard work and efforts that they can do. And leadership of Las Cruces is one thing that we talk about. we will pay for you to go to Leadership Las Cruces, which I thoroughly believe in. I think I've sent 9 or 10 people through. But we also tell them, you know, are you a golfer? You know, we support a lot of golf tournaments out here. You show me that you work hard, I will take you in, and we will go play golf, and you will still be on the clock. You know, I will pay you to go play golf. Or, and listen, they didn't know how to play golf, but all of a sudden they know how to play golf. Okay? So, you know, Debbie, during the end process or over our first 90 days, everyone we hire as a temp. Okay, you're a temp employee for the first 90 days. And then after the 90 days, we give them 30-day evaluations on how well they're doing. And then we tell them, you know, at the end of the 90 days, I'm either going to offer you a job or I'm going to thank you for the 90 days that you've worked for me. Okay? But they're going to know that probably after about 60 days, if they don't make some improvements, that they probably need to start putting their feelers out for other employment. But it's not going to catch them by surprise. But once we offer them the job at the end of 90 days, we start telling them about the benefits, the insurance benefits, the training benefits, different things that they can do within the community and represent American Document Services and represent us well. And I've got some long-term employees that has been with me a long time that I'm very proud of and would do about anything for them. And I think they do about anything for me.
I agree. And I think what you heard with him saying, not only does he mentor and give his employees professional development, did you hear the golf tournament? They get to play golf. The golf tournament and giving back to the community. And I'm going to embarrass him a little bit further. For Leadership Las Cruces, he actually sends other small business owners that couldn't afford it to that because that's how much Rick and American Document Services believes in the community. So it's all about your heart. It's all about giving back to your community. So at the end, Marianne, at the end of a business, Rick has talked retiring someday. Does succession planning just impact family-owned businesses?
Actually, succession planning is for all businesses. And the key to that is when you start a business, you have to think of the end of the business. And you should always have an exit strategy. You should always be planning for changes in the business. So one of the things I like to teach and talk about when I meet with my clients is talking about that, the whole life cycle of a business. So in the life cycle of the business, it starts out helpless, like an infant, where you're pouring time and energy and effort and money into everything. You're pouring that into the business. But you do have to think of the end. You know, where do I want that business to go? All businesses need to think about the end of the business and what am I going to do with the business. Now, part of that is if, let's say, you want to sell the business or you want to pass it on to a family member, you should always be planning and thinking about that. And I've actually talked to people that they decide they're going to sell their business. Well, they're thinking about it when they're ready to sell the business, and that's too late. It takes at least 4 years to start planning to sell a business or to pass it on to family members. So there's a lot of things you need to do in that time. You need to prepare for that, and that's gathering your team. You have to gather a team to help you set that up. And it's evaluating and reviewing and giving value to your business. So if you think of it at the start of your business, what's going to happen to the business when you're going to retire or you're going to sell it or you're going to pass it on to a family member, that's something you think about throughout the time you're running the business, actually. So throughout the time you're running the business, you want to consider some things such as I'll tell you one of the big mistakes businesses make. They run their business for taxes. How much tax do I try to avoid? And what that does is it's not creating value in the business. You're holding back. You're maybe not reporting your full sales, and you're holding back, and you're not growing the business to be profitable and show that there's value in the business. And I've actually known some businesses that start to think about, I'm going to sell my business. I want to sell my business because, I've run it for many years, and I want to go ahead and retire and be out of the business. So then they start to think about that. Well, on their income tax, they've been showing that they aren't so profitable. So when it comes time to selling the business, then the value of the business just isn't what it really could be. And the reason I say it takes a minimum of 4 years to start planning to sell a business is because the buyer wants to see 3 years income tax returns. They want to see your financial statements. They want to see your profit and loss. And you at some point you're going to share that with a potential buyer who has the ability to buy your business. And so with that, you're going to show the value of the business because you want a good price, right? And those are decisions you have to make, so you're preparing for that. So what you want to do is plan and prepare for that and give value to your business. And I've known of some owners that they start to think that way, and then they actually start to plan and they review, and they're working on the business and they're showing value, and they decide, they made so many changes and adjustments. They view it from they're looking at it from the buyer's side. And so they start to give their own business this value of, I put all this effort in the beginning, and now, I'm just kind of used to being in the business. But they take a fresh look at their business and they start to, hey, I could change this and I could fix that. And they actually get excited about their business, and they even decide sometimes to stay in the business a little bit longer, and they're enjoying that because now they're giving value to the business. So what I say is, give value to your business all along, from the beginning to when you think you are going to pass it on or sell it or whatnot. So give value, run the finances that way all along, and always take a look back. Debbie mentioned that at the beginning. Take a look back, look into it from another that perspective, and run your business giving it value. Don't hold back on that. Because of and I've seen that people make that mistake of saying, well, the taxes. Don't run your business. Taxes are a piece of your overall finances. And so the business becomes a member of the community. So what you do with it at the end, when you're going to pass it on or you're going to sell it, it's already a member of the community, right? So now you have this responsibility also of what's going to happen, because some business owners choose to just close the business, not pass it on and not sell it, and it ends with them. So those are some thoughts to think about. Those are your decisions to think about, and it helps you when you look at the end of the business. What am I going to do with it at the end? That helps you when you're setting up the business, right? That gives you that idea of, I need to set it up a certain way. So you want to set it up maybe as a certain, you don't necessarily want to set it up as just me, sole proprietor, to begin with. You might be looking forward and saying, okay, if I want to do this at the end of the business, I need to set it up a certain way. So again, that's another reason to look at it from the beginning. The other thing to think about, and we don't like to talk about this, but business could end suddenly because things that happen out in the world affect your business. So one of the reasons that your business could end because you ended, right? So you have to plan and think about that. And there's ways to protect the business when that does happen. And I've known businesses, profitable business, it operates, and the owner dies, has a heart attack and dies, or has an accident. And so what happens to the business? And I've seen businesses, it ended with the business owner. It closed down, and a nice little restaurant in a small community that everybody went to, and business owner dies. It's noticeable. It's very noticeable that this person cannot continue and the business doesn't continue. So those are things that can happen. Another thing that can happen is, let's say you run your business and you've leased this location for years and years, right? And so then comes a time where, for whatever reason, the landlord does not renew your lease, okay? And so now you're struggling to find a new place, and you know what? This place was affordable, and when you've been there for so long that you don't even know what the going rent is in a new location, and it's a surprise. It's grown, it's different, and so you're scrambling to find a new location, and the cost of that, and that could mean the difference between closing the doors or continuing, finding that new location. So there's a lot of different reasons. Markets change, customers change. So you always need to keep tabs on what's happening. What are the trends? And the good thing about New Mexico is things do come to us later, but that can be an opportunity. Notice what's happening out in the rest of the country and even in the world. How does that impact your business? Stay ahead of the game. Be connected to mentors and resources that can help you say, okay, yeah, these are changes that are coming. When minimum wage goes up, that's a change that's coming. Plan and prepare for that, and you can handle it. So creating opportunities is important. So even though we talk about the end of a business or the change of a business, it should be happening all along, all throughout the lifetime of the business. Again, I say that business started helpless like an infant, but it starts to have its own life cycle where it does become more independent, where it does tend to become a mature business. And all along you're making changes and adjustments. And the key to that is knowing your finances. Finances help you run the business. Knowing your finances, reviewing that on a regular basis helps you make decisions sooner than later. Because sometimes when you make that decision later, it costs you more money than if you caught something sooner and you can make those changes and adjustments, and it's going to save you money or it's going to save the business. It matters. It can make a big difference. So that's my answer.
I'd like to comment because she brought up an excellent point. In my industry, there's a lot of us throughout the United States, and there's corporate that tries to buy the small ones out. I had a good friend over in Arkansas that has a business about the same size as mine, family owned. Basically, you could look at the two organizations and we mirrored each other. A corporate company went in to buy him out, and he started doing his non-disclosures and putting his financial statements together. Now, as a family-owned business, they were taking the family credit or the business credit card and taking the family out to eat on it and then classifying it as a business meals and entertainment. They bought a couple of travel trailers and said, the business will make the payments on these because we use them when we go out of town, like once every 6 months, to pick up a customer, and we live in it so we can justify it. So that was a lease, but in the meantime, when it wasn't being used by the company, they were using it personally to go to the lakes and do things. Leasing vehicles for the CEO, COO, CFO to drive, and it's their personal vehicle. They use it for everything, to work and everything. But all this is on the bottom line. This is expense that the company is paying, which it should not be paying, which takes away from the value of the business when it comes time to do an evaluation to sell. And once they started putting all these numbers back together, he said we were $328,000 a year that I could have added back into my bottom line of the business and added value to my business, which would have made his offer or the offer from the corporate approximately $1.5 million more than what they got offered. And I came back and started looking at my stuff real quick and said, wow, maybe that little credit card that I used at Walmart and said, here, write this off as office expense, I should not be doing that anymore. It's the little $1 and $2 because you put a lot of work into your business to make it valuable and to add valuable. So you listen to what she said, and believe me, she knows what she's talking about.
So I'm going to pause right here. Have you got any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Who's got the mic? Hold on just a second. We're recording this, so we woke them up.
I run a home health agency, so we serve some of the waivers for the state of New Mexico. And I'll be honest with you, with the minimum wage that keeps going up, there's no way that we can continue serving that clientele because under the MCOs, we only get between $13 and $14. And then we have to pay insurance if they work more than 30 hours. We have to pay their overtime. We have to pay time in between patients. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went into effect because of the workforce solutions that are affecting our clients. So we cut their hours so that they're working less hours. And, you know, there's nowhere to go when minimum wage just keeps going up. And the state with the MCOs don't pay us any more money.
So
What do you do there?
So this session passed. We did work very diligently to try to get those reimbursements up. And I'd have to check and see. I think some of them did go up, what you're getting for
We
the
got an
reimbursement.
increase of 1 cent.
I'm sorry?
We got an increase of 1 cent.
Wow. So you need to please
The
call my
MCOs
office, because I totally understand the dilemma on several reasons. I mean, several levels about the reimbursement. I know our minimum wage in Las Cruces is going to go up. It's going to go up even if you're not in Las Cruces to $9 in January. I will tell you, we fought very diligently in Santa Fe. I'm also chair of the statewide Chamber of Commerce Execs Association. We worked diligently. What we did succeed in is not going straight to 12, and we're gradually going to 12 in about 4 years. Not the best scenario, but certainly the reimbursement from the state. If you'll give my office a call and set up a scheduled appointment with me, I would love to hear more about it, because that's part of what we do as a chamber and statewide chambers is try to get that reimbursement, because it hurts all around. I think with the minimum wage, we want to help you more as it goes up to how do you accommodate it, how do you work with it. Unfortunately, it's not going to go away, and I know the costs are going up. My heart is breaking because I know that. And I'm terrified that some of the businesses are going to go out of business. How can we work together to make it happen? SBDC, I know, and several of the business organizations in town are trying to work on counsel people through it. But the reimbursement is a little bit different side of that, because you can't live that way. And so it has to do with daycare and some of the other ones. But please call my office. My number, if you want to, is 575-524-1968. That's the Chamber of Commerce.
And can I offer,
The other thing they also talked about, and I think they passed it in Bernalillo County, is paying benefits, paid day offs to these employees.
Paid sick leave, yes, they did
Right.
pass it. They
Sick
passed
leave
it in
and-
Bernalillo County. It's county, but not the city. We are watching that and seeing what's going on a statewide. It is not here, has not come up for discussion, either the City of Las Cruces or Doña County as of right now. I am monitoring it. But yes, Bernalillo County paid sick ordinance or paid time off. I can't remember the exact name of it, but we're watching it. I think part of the key to this is statewide, we're piecemealing a lot of these issues, which is not good or bad. So we kind of need to look and see how we can compromise and bring everything together. Bernalillo County is the only one, I think, besides maybe Santa Fe County, that has one right now.
Yeah, I had a question on, I think it was workforce. I'd heard that there are some state subsidies for employing high school students where the state will actually pay part of the high school students' wages for them to get experience, particularly in the construction industry, but I have not been able to find any information as far as how to access those programs. Is that something you guys can?
Raise your hand. Okay, so if it's in construction, there's registered apprenticeships, which are a little more established, and that is one way, but you're basically training them for the difference in an apprenticeship versus an internship. An apprenticeship is you're training them for a specific job that when the apprenticeship is over, they get that job. The internship opportunity, it's kind of like a learn and earn opportunity, and there are some of those that can be supported through the youth funds, especially if you're talking about high school students. There's a youth program that is not represented here today, and they have funds that can help support youth employment, be it over the summer or be it over, the year. And what it is it takes the form of, some level of reimbursement for what you're paying them at a specific pay, or at a minimum. But the thing about that is these are federally mandated. This is not just New Mexico figuring it out. Some of this is federally mandated stuff relevant to living wages, which is, they really don't want to see federal funds being used to support a job anybody could get at any time. It's really very economic development driven. That's what those dollars are for. I mean, those are our tax dollars. Don't you want it to drive the economy? And so that's kind of when you hear things like that. But I highly encourage you to talk to these ladies because they can at least get you started. And the Department of Workforce Solutions, if you want to see the local stuff, it's employnm.com. Employnm.com. Look for business. There's a whole section for business. This is what's available to you. This is a little bit more, and this is who you contact. But these two lovely ladies here can definitely be of help. You can also visit. Do you guys know, and I mean, how many of y'all are parents also? Sweet, okay. So we started a little website to start to connect the dots for people because it's really hard to know everything that's available to you from an employment, academic, training, all that stuff. We started a little website. The other handout you may have been given may look like this. NewMexicoTrueTalent.org is a website that is literally a portal to connection. It's a portal, and it's bilingual. It's a portal to connection to all kind of information, not just relevant to Doña Ana County, but the state and the nation as well. And it's everything from career exploration software that is available for free through the state to videos of different industries that are already here, access to national, data around salaries and access to, if you want to go to DACC, here's some steps. If you want to go to NMSU, here's some things. So it's got it all, and we've laid it out with students, parents, teachers, and businesses. Because frankly, I mean, you guys, everybody talks about the soft skills gap, and I'm going to ask all of you to be ambassadors of not using that word because it doesn't mean anything. Employability skills, right? Tony Wagner is this business guy, and he's talked about the 7 survival skills of the future. Agility and adaptability, communication, problem solving, critical thinking. It's what you need when you're employable, right? If you can demonstrate that, then it helps you be employable. And we've got expectation gaps. So if I go to high school, this is a perfect example. I go to high school, I can miss 10 days in a semester if they're excused and it not count against me. What will you do if one of your employees doesn't show up 10 days in 3 months? So that is an expectation gap. So that's why it's really critical for you all as business people to see yourself as part of the training pipeline and stepping into a business, because the teachers will tell you they won't hear them always, but when you go, they hear you, and they listen differently. So I highly encourage you as part of your normal course of operations, and if you know that these are the kinds of employees that you are going to hire, this is the kind of skill set you need, reach out to the career services folks at Las Cruces Public Schools, DACC, NMSU, and find ways to engage in that conversation. You will find employability skills change dramatically when the students have a proper set of expectations.
I just have a comment. The federal funds that are available are broad. There are lots and lots of little nuances to them. So I suggest to you, I worked for the Department of Labor for 20 years, so that's why I'm talking about this. I suggest to you as a business, if you go to the Workforce Solutions, that you don't just say, hey, I want to hire this one person or a person for this one job. Can you give me on-the-job training money? It's how many months, and here's what the skill level is. That's how they figure out how much money you get. Do a comprehensive review of your whole operation, because you can't possibly move somebody from one job to another job and get training money for that upgrade. And then you open an entry level. You have to deal with the age of the person you're working with because of the wage labor laws, et cetera. So just think it out and spend some time at Workforce Solutions and say, this is my situation, what do you think? And then these ladies will analyze it for you, and you'd be surprised how much money there is. It will help you with that minimum wage. It will help you.
So, do you want to comment?
I think Griselda took off. Is it closing remarks already? Or do you have?
You're fine.
Excellent. So, unfortunately, Griselda had to take off, and she asked me to provide some of the closing remarks, unless there's any further questions.
Hold on just a second. So, let me say, I didn't realize you were going to close. I thought you were going to give some profound report. The data
it's
guy.
1:31.
The data
My
guy.
apologies. There we go.
So, no, I'm okay. So, number one takeaway. Number one takeaway. What are you taking away? What's in your bag? It's like, that's kind of like Capital One. What's in your wallet? What's in your bag? What's in your bag? What else? Topic takeaways. Kitchen cabinet. Succession plan. Life cycle of a business. Plenty of local resources. I'm sorry? Don't work your business around. What do you work your business around? Value. What's your value? Profit. Sustainability. What's here? Heart. What is it? Passion, vision, commitment. The leadership of your passion is the passion of your leadership fueled by energy. Say, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're going to make a difference. I've enjoyed being your MC, Mistress of Ceremony, for the afternoon. I would assume our panel can stick around, get business cards. You all can create your kitchen cabinet right from in this room. That's a really cool thing. Chamber number 575-524-1968. My cell number 505-440-0196. Debbi Moore at lascruces.org. I'm here. Chamber's here. We're all here to help you grow. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you for attending. Best of luck, and we're here to help you. Thanks a lot.
Excellent. Thank you, Debbi. Thank you very much. So again, sorry for jumping before. Griselda had to take off, so she asked me to just provide the quick closing remarks. We have learned a lot today, all the different resources that we have. So if you could please write down 2 numbers. I'll start with our business concierge. Anything matters related to city, anything of questions that we can help you with, please write down this number. It's 575-541-2191. Email address is dbustos, both with S, at las-cruces.org. On the 16th of this month, Veronica, correct me if wrong, we're going to have the job fair. So if you are willing to provide some job openings, looking for talent, looking for all of these things, talk to Veronica. And Veronica, I'm going to put you on the spot. Your phone number is?
575-524-6250, extension 1014. And I have some cards here too. If anybody's interested, I can give you my information.
So again, it's 575-524-6250, extension 1014. And her email address is veronica.apodaca2@state.nm.us. And again, send both of these resources a call or an email. Now you have the person and the point of contact that can help you connect with the resources that you're looking for. Again, job fair on the 16th of this month. So if you're looking for talent, looking for people, we're going to have a group of individuals looking for jobs in that place. So be ready to contact us, to contact Veronica with regards to that. Besides this, we have some gifts for our panelists that we want to thank you very much. And if you join me in giving them a round of applause, because they've been great tonight. And again, I'm sure they have plenty of business cards that they can share. And with that, thank you so much for coming. We will be sending a follow-up survey of the things that you would like to hear in the future with regards to these types of workshops. So please answer the survey that we send back to you. Send any feedback, what items, what type of topics you'd like to discuss, you'd like to hear in future discussions of this nature. So have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much for attending.